Hi, chat. How's it going? What's up? How are things? I have to set everything up one moment. Yo. Yo, how's it going? What's up? Yeah, you gotta like ping the Discord and all that. It's weird not having any like sound or anything. I usually have like a game in the background when I set up stream. Yo, welcome. Yo. Okay. All right. Wait, why was it like obscure? Why does it obscure when I when I go out of the? Do you see? That's weird. What the heck? The video just like changes color when I okay when I open another tab. That's funny. What was that? Okay. But hi chat, how's it going? Today we are playing or not playing. We are watching the Limbus Company Arknights collab. Last we left off, we watched all of the April Fool's events, and we got about 40 minutes into this. I stopped at like the end of episode 3, or as I guess node 3. Yeah, that's the node. Yeah, probably I would say. They're releasing a new mirror dungeon soon. Yo, God, I still need to catch up to Kanto 9, but we will be doing that after I finish this. Maybe not today. I doubt today. Honestly, we've got 3 hours of reading. Because I have to read the dialogue because I've decided to read the dialogue because it's like it's less engaging if I don't. But yeah, let's how are the settings? Are we all good? Yeah, we're all good. Okay. Let's watch. Chat, it's muted still. There we go. I don't know why, but I have a separate browser thing for like watching stuff on stream. And every single time I do anything on it, it just mutes it. The entire tab. Every time I open a new tab, it starts muted. I don't know why. But that's yeah, all right. Let's continue. We walked past a few narrow buildings and remnants of narrow buildings before we came across a large hall enough to house all 15 of us. Okay, now we're ready. With the curtains on the window removed, the smoke has an exit. All right. Whoa, I thought we were doomed to shut ourselves to sleep with the soaking wet firewood and all. I had no idea that worked. We just have to get a small fire going underneath it until the wood dries up and catches fire, the downside being all the smoke. It's clear that she has some field experience, unlike some fools I know. Can't sit here and let her carry the burden of labor alone. Bequeath upon me thine ingredients, young Rhodian, for I shall conjure thee a pot of special fixer soup. You're making soup with cookies and jelly? No. Why are you are not getting anywhere near the kitchen again? Not after what you cooked up last time, oh god. While I must admit to a certain level of interest, as many as of our fellows viscera we oft racked with intense agony upon ingesting dishes of your making, perhaps it would be wiser if we saved the occasion for a safer environment. Right, don't you remember we agreed to leave cooking to Mur and Odie? If we were in a situation like this, I love that Rodian has just like, did we? Sorry, I need to pause when I'm talking. I forget that it's like auto, but I love that Rodia has just like nicknames for every sinner. See, I think it's become sort of an unspoken rule after everything that's happened. Remember back during last year's cooking contest at K-Corp, they were the only 2 people who managed to get remotely positive reviews. Oh, does that mean we'll get to try Otis's cooking once again? Denied. We still have plenty of high-calorie foods like cookies and jellies here. I find no reason to do something so inefficient. Cookies and jellies. That is high calorie, but like not nutritious in any way. Unless they have like okay. That is not survival food. I'm glad to see that everyone's still energetic. Given the circumstances, it can't be easy to suddenly wake up in an unfamiliar environment. Honestly, this happens all the time. Well, we're all quite used to getting thrown around into unfamiliar places. Speaking of which, did you manage to reach your colleagues, Amia? I need to play Arknights. She shook her head, concerned. They might have lost their comms devices, or maybe they ran into some other trouble. Could they be in danger? I don't know, but I'm sure they're okay. The Dr. Haltsit, said they're more than capable enough to look after themselves. Long have this curiosity lingered within me, thus allow me to inquire. Corporations are, by their nature, organizations in pursuit of profit. Yet the activities of your corporation resemble those of charity organizations, as opposed to a pharmaceutical company. Is there aught that might explicate this blurred distinction? I wanted to know too. How come a pharmaceutical company like Rhodes Island how... Did I misread that, or was that a spelling error? How come a pharmaceutical company like Rhodes Island's helping... Yeah, Rhodes Island... Yeah. I misread it. Something about what Honglu said brings back unpleasant memories. The horrible experiments seen through the cascades of flowing tears in the face of suffering. The embodiment of greed that left a terrible wound in Honglu's fathoms. Pharmaceutical companies I've seen in my journey were corporations that, despite possessing capacity to heal, chose to obsess over the profit it can provide. There are many in Terra who are suffering from a disease. The disease crystallizes you. It spreads deeper and deeper into the infected's internal organs, eventually culminating in their death. It's called oropathy. Amia showed me the back of her right hand, dotted by what appeared to be obsidian crystallizations. You see, in the city, they'd probably just kill you if you had that. Its appearance reminded me of the bio-treatments from the back streets, but there was something more to it, something more restless, more sinister. It's a terrible, painful disease, but there haven't been any recorded cases of full recovery. But there's an even worse problem. Pray tell, what could possibly be worse than an incurable, deadly disease? While it varies region by region, discrimination against the infected is widespread across Terra. Those who suffer from it must face unfair treatment. Yisung began with a dark expression. Some are quarantined in places with terrible, inhumane conditions, and there have been massacres too, dang. I don't mean to be callous, but is this oropathy highly contagious? No, there have not been any recorded cases of infection by contact as long as the subjects are alive. But when the infected dies, the crystal growths on their body decay and turn into dust, scattering, which is what spreads the plague. Barring environments like active battlefields where casualties are to be expected, staying within close proximity to the infected in daily life seems to pose hardly any risk. In fact, quarantining them would probably... I guess, yeah, quarantine. I was gonna say, like, if you have like a bunch of people dying in like an area with that would probably be bad. But also, quarantine means nothing gets in or out. So, just bad on the like inhumane side of things. Also, I didn't read that. So, what's the problem then? They're already past the point of caring about what the problem is. Once people start feeling iffy, all logic goes out the window. True. Then Rhodes Island's goal has to be... Yes, it is important to develop a cure for oropathy, but I think what really matters is that we change the circumstances for the better of the infected. Oh, I gotta drink water. Okay. That's not going to be an easy endeavor, though. What gives you... that is what gives your effort its meaning. I hope you can achieve that goal, Ami. I really do. Sob for truth. City, this world. We both live in worlds full of surprises, don't we? What kind of world did you come from? This city. It's horrible. It's awful. You don't want to go there. What kind of place is this city, anyway? The kind of place with too many pointless rules. The kind of place where the moment you think, isn't this too much, you get something even worse. Try as I might, I couldn't think of a single positive thing about the city. The sinners seemed to be in agreement, as most of what came after was quite scathing. Kind of place where good deeds rarely ever go unpunished, where sympathy's a good attitude to have if you like getting stabbed in the back. Nothing good ever works out there. Shithole. It's an irrational place full of absurdities. Absurdities and omnipresence. Therefore, it is not a subject by which one should be aggrieved. We can at least grouse about them, though I mean, it's the only thing we can do. It would be more correct to experience more and acclimate oneself to it instead of complaining. Did you say something like... You did say something like that last time. Just as the mood was starting to turn rather sour, Don Quixote's shout shattered through the awkwardness. Verily, nary a day goeth by untarnished by villains and their fell deeds. Yet worry thee not, for where evil riseth, so doth fixers of justice to... Don Quixote jumped from her seat and passionately shook her fist, which was followed by a heavy crack and the sound of small pebbles tumbling down. Oh. Don Quixote, watch out! Whoa, what? Hello. From behind the wall, she accidentally broke down. An unfamiliar visage of a villager appeared and stared back at Don Quixote. It appeared that she was eating something out of a can while reading a book. Did we just, like, break down your wall while you were having a meal? How farest thou? Here's thy foot. You gotta apologize first. I guess last seemed a tad too hyper today. Apologies, for I hardly expected the wall to crumble with such ease. Art thou unhurt? Any injuries? Two? Two? Pray tell, to what? Forget the apology, I just want to know what happens next. The fixers of justice rose up to do what? Oh, oh, hast thou come to hear the tale of fixers? I don't know about, well, why can't I read? I don't know about coming to us, given how Miss Don Quixote was the one who punched the wall down. Oh, is it too late an hour? I don't mind waiting until morning if you want to sleep. Nay, not at all. 'Tis quite an early hour for tales. In fact, pray, seat thyself. Ungovernable fool, calm down. We don't even know who she is. Don't you forget to share those fixer tales over there in the corner to not disturb our sleep. Oh, makest a request most untenable. These tales deserve to be announced to the world with great gusto from the center. Yeah, that's the best way to hear those kinds of stories, but we should probably introduce ourselves to each other first. Name's Mayers. I'm... how should I put this? Ah, did you meet the village chief earlier during the day? He's my gramps. Oh, that nice guy? So he had a granddaughter. Yet I have not seen you once, Miss Mayers, under the sun. Oh my, you're right. I thought the village was completely dried of any young blood. Like Raja said, while we didn't see Mayers out there, there wasn't anyone else in the village we could comfortably call young. You telling me? Gramps was worrying over nothing and told me to stay put inside. Going on and on about dangers that the outsiders pose and everything. It seems that they do not give full faith to their saviors. There are things you cannot share even with whom you trust with your life, though I would like to know why. My, so there are a bunch of other kids who are stuck indoors in the village? No, there isn't anyone around my age in the village at all. If that's the case, I guess I can understand why he'd be overprotective. Anyways, it's our turn. We are... I'm good. I heard enough to get an idea. You did? Oh, pray tell, how didst thou hear of us? Via listening device most secret upon our chamber. Mayers tapped a side of the wall. A part of the wall was still standing anyway, and smiled ironically. Pad soundproofing. I could hear pretty much everything. Don Quixote, right? Everything Don Quixote practically sang during the day. Verily, I see. I think you could really do with some sense of embarrassment for once. Well, I guess that's good enough for self-introduction, so... Care to regale me with the tale of fixers who bring justice to the evils of the city? Indubitably. Then, shall do. I shall regale thee with tales in which the legendary fixer, the the arch magnificence herself, the Red Mist, hath... Suppose that killed any hope for a good night's kip. But don't you usually pass out within a minute of your back hitting the hay, or no matter how noisy things are? What, did you take me for some kind of hibernating bear or something? Look, even I have trouble sleeping when there's noise all over. Did he fall asleep? I'd say bear in hibernation is a pretty apt descriptor. For all that grumbling and moaning, he dozed off before any of us did. Aside from Heathcliff, who began snoring the moment his head touched the ground, some other sinners were fast asleep as well, Red Mist mentioned, yes. Mersault had entered sleep in his usual steadfast adherence to the routine, while Faust laid claim to one of the few available cloth sheets as soon as the close of business for the day was confirmed. The sinners who had spent the entire last night searching for me in this unfamiliar land slowly began to fall asleep as well. Meanwhile, the fixers of the Zwei Association's first section... Though the night was no longer young, Don Quixote was still vigorously sharing the tales of adventures without even a single hint of fatigue. She's not determined to do this until sunrise, is she? Oh, favorite character in this collab is Irene. I have her in Arknights. Oh, I guess it's okay since Maris seems to be having fun. As I continued to watch the pair with some mild concern, Amia, who not yet asleep, approached me. This city Miss Don Quixote speaks of seems to be teeming with fixers of justice and exhilarating tales of adventures. Did you actually experience all of them yourself? Or yourselves? No, of course not. Don Quixote's stories are usually those of other famous people. She's telling it with such vigor that it almost sounds like she was there herself. Well, I guess if you really want to get into it, some of them might be retelling of Don Quixote's personal experiences. Ishmael replied uncertainly, thinking back to the days we were made to watch back in La Mancha Land. Dang. Well, I think all those stories, even though they're only partially true, just go to show what a ridiculous place it can be. We wouldn't need fixers of justice to begin with if we really lived in a just world, right? A really good place to live would be quiet and peaceful without having someone to force it. That's true. I hope there'll come a day when Rhodes Island can be a normal pharmaceutical company in the future. Something wrong? No, I just thought Miss Mayers and I made eye contact. Did she overhear our conversation? I looked to her direction as well, but all I saw was Mayers excitedly reacting to Don Quixote's stories. Whoa, what happened then? Thus spake Lady Otis boldly before the soldiers who stood in our path. Thou presumest to stand in our path, servants of a master most unworthy. Otis shall educate ye on how manner maketh. Don Quixote was now retelling the stories of Limbus Company's adventures in Hongyuan, and Otis, who could no longer stand Don Quixote's unintentional alterations of the story, jumped to her feet and shouted. Damn it, what kind of nonsense are you feeding her? I never said anything like that. Verily, certain aspects of this retelling may have been exaggerated. That's Tales of Adventure for you. Things are bound to get a bit dry when a story is told too realistically and as is, right? You know, nothing, not even anything resembling a proper record or book remained once the profound silence swept through this village. Profound silence? So I've always had a craving for these kinds of stories. But Iberia doesn't stop Iberians from emigrating, contrary to their tight immigration control. Quiet in chat today? Yeah. I've noticed things slowing down a bit, sadly. Once I get to Canto 9, it'll probably pick up again. I think intervalos tend to just, like, have less viewers, I guess. I guess most people are just here for the cantos, which is fair. Have you ever thought about leaving this place? It's still a challenge to cross the border, especially since we're going to have to pass through larger cities that are managed by the Inquisition. You don't seem particularly fond of this Inquisition. Why is that? That's because this village was formed by people who grew tired of living under the Inquisition's rule and fled. Here's my beloved, oh. Sorry, but what kind of organization is this Inquisition? Sinclair asked, face turning cold upon hearing the word Inquisition, that the people fled from it. Yeah, the Nagaland hammer we saw back at the hall aren't the kinds of memories that are so easily forgotten. According to Dr. Kaltzit, the Inquisition is what filled the power vacuum once Iberia fell into chaos. Its Inquisitioners are the rapier and lamp-wielding protectors of Iberia's cities from lawlessness. That alone kinda makes them sound like good people, though. Yeah, they are, but there's the Church of the Deep. Oh? The Inquisition will go to whatever lengths to deal with incidents related to the church that worships Seaborns. About Canto 9, if you pull new Yisang ID, please don't use him. His skill literally spoils Canto 9. Dang. Right, yeah, I was gonna wait until the next Walpurgis. Though I think they are probably delaying the Walpurgis until they get all the Canto 9 stuff sorted out. So, yeah. More lunacy to spend. I'll probably get pretty much every ID from the Walpurgis when it happens, though, so I'm happy about that. An organization that worships those monsters? Oh no. Don Quixote is back to being racist. It seems that cultish fanaticism is a plague wherever we go. I feel like people of all kinds of wrong faiths and beliefs are so common. See, the Seaborns are the ones that messed Iberia up, so following their logic, apparently it's okay for them to arrest anyone who seems even remotely connected to them. Are you saying that Iberia is like this because of the Seaborns? Those things from earlier? I guess they were kind of troublesome to deal with, but they didn't seem that strong. Anyways, it's just what I heard from Gramps, but the Inquisition executed many innocent people too in their crusade against the Church of the Deep. For those who proclaim to be on the side of justice, they seem quite fond of committing such villainy. Seems like a reasonable policy decision to me. Yes, war crimes. But it must pose a clear danger to the daily lives of civilians. Yeah, I heard I was the only survivor. Everyone in my family died. Dang. I must have had to endure such a long period of pain. To be able to say something like that with such composure. For Iberia, they were heroes who will bring the land back to its glory days, but to Gramps, they were just oppressors, making his life difficult. That's why we've all come here, fleeing from the Inquisition's gaze. Yet wherefore hast thou decided to settle at a place that is so, run down? Indeed. Yeah, I know, but it's not so bad once you get used to it. Besides, we managed to find a new path thanks to you guys. New path? Well, it's getting late. Will you be repairing the ship tomorrow too? I totally thought she was about to respond to Dante, and I was like, wait a minute. This place really has no soundproofing at all, huh? Good talk, everyone. Hope we'll get another chance to do this tomorrow too. After seeing Mayers to her own room, the other sinners, those who were still up anyway, and I laid ourselves on the hard stone floor with only a thin layer of cloth between it and our backs. A mysterious world that is neither the city nor the outskirts. But it seems that the lives of people led were just as difficult as they were anywhere else. Oh, yeah, no, I forgot that like we're not actually playing Limbus Company, and I like the node. I don't go back to the node selection screen. We're just skipping straight to the next node. All right. I'm choking on water. My God. All right, we're back. It's so big. Sorry. Okay. Amazing. I didn't know there were remaining vessels. Sorry. Vessels of this class in Iberia. Hi, I spy her name there. 'Tis called the name Rebellion de la Masses? Rebellion de la Masas. Masas? I've seen that Dante line taken out of context so many times, dang. Rebellion de la Masas. Masas? Revolt of the Masses, is it? A name very much mired in peculiarity indeed. Hongwu chimed in that he was rather fond of its size without being about the same size as a boat from his home, while Ishmael quickly jumped to correct us that its size alone wasn't anything special at the Great Lake, but it was still pretty big compared to Mephir, the Indigo Elder's skiff. I thought it was going to be somewhere around Mephir's size at most. Are you sure you can get to this ship fixed in a day or two? As I briefed you yesterday, the great majority of the time-consuming repairs had already been completed by the villagers. The extent of our repair efforts only concerns a few components within the vessel that the villagers could not repair, which shouldn't take us much time. Unless parts that are unfamiliar to Faust are also malfunctioning, such as the core engine, remaining repairs should sufficiently be managed by Faust. Despite Otis's confident declaration, I could not help but feel oddly unsettled as I looked at the ship. I don't know why, but something tells me that we don't want to linger here for too long. Oh? Still, please be thorough about it, just in case. Rather not sit on a sinking ship again. The experience at the Great Lake was enough. Do not worry, Dante. Unlike Mephistopheles, most functions of this vessel, buoyancy gear, propellers, steering gear, are all in operational capacity. Repair should be much easier than that case with Mephistopheles. Have you tried Arknights before? I have not. I do want to play it after I finish Canto 9 and catch up fully. That's going to be my next game once Limbus is over. They seem confident enough. It should be safe this time around, right? Are we taking that rope to climb up to the ship? No, there's a lift-like apparatus down here. It should take us to the take us up to the ship. If stability was verified yesterday, let us board the lift. You're 100% certain, right? The boat is afloat right now, Dante. I don't think it'll be sinking anytime soon. Wouldn't that be nice? Or are you two just gonna have a bow down there? We're heading up now. The game story is way too long. That's good. And so is Limbus. Arknights doesn't have a PC port officially, by the way. What? Really? Why am I getting so many ads for it then? Always in the Bible 3 times front to back, dang. I feel like I get a lot of ads for Arknights. Well, not a lot of it, but I've gotten ads for Arknights. Maybe it's just because I'm in the community, I guess. I don't know. It's not an exaggeration. Dang. So wait. What what do you mean officially? Like, would I have to get like a wait. Am I just not able to stream it then? Dang. Enfield is on PC, but the original Arknights isn't? Oh. You'd have to emulate it? Oh. So wait, is it... How does it... Like, is Arknights... Do I need to play the first Arknights? Technically, it doesn't have a PC client. Welcome, how's it going? Can I just play Enfield? Is that... Would I have to play the first Arknights? Enfield is a completely different game. Oh. Okay, so I just wouldn't play the original Arknights then. Enfield is hundreds of years after Arknights. Ah. Probably not. Okay. And yeah, assuming, like, I guess, since they probably don't, what you call it? Since they don't have a port for the original one, I doubt it's really, like, super important to play it first. But to understand most things, I'd say play Arknights first. Oh. There's a lot of keywords in Enfield. Oh no. Oh god. Spoilers in chat. Oh, yeah, thank you for the message. A lot of people don't like Enfield. Oh. Can't really stick around, but hi. Yeah, welcome. How's it going? How? I guess I could emulate it, right? It's a free game, right? Oh yeah, is Arknights free? I assumed it was free because gotcha. Gotcha games are usually free at the cost of gambling. Blue stack time then? What? They partnered with Google Play PC and the PC launcher is in beta, but just emulate it really? Oh, so there is a version on PC? I could just do that, right? Like, I mean, is it just the launcher that's annoying? Because I deal with bad launchers all the time. Everything I know about Arknights comes from Emo. Okay, well, I guess I'll figure it out later. Let's continue with this. Also, it's an old game and the story isn't voice acted. Oh, no. Okay, I don't know then. Which one's more popular? Is like I feel like Enfield I might just be able to play Enfield, right? I'll just have to deal with like a few like confusing things, I guess. If the story wasn't voice acted, it would be 80 gigabytes. Dang. Also, Arknights came out in 2020. It's not that old. Oh. By that logic, Genshin is an old game too. I mean, oh man, 2020 was 6 years ago. What the heck? What do you mean 2020 was 6 years ago? Definitely from before then. There's no way it was 2020. Oh. What? 2019 or 2020? Oh. Okay, 2019. Okay. All right, let's continue. No, we're going with you. As I made my way into the vessel's bridge, I was greeted by the extravagant interior that was as gaudy as its exterior. This is real gold, isn't it? Sure is shiny as heck in here. I've got butterflies in my stomach. AS. Aesthetically satisfying, she says. Yo, how's it going? Welcome. But too ostentatious. Not quite my style. Young Mephi is also quite the excellent vessel, yet imagine the adventures we could embark on aboard this vessel most lavishly decorated. As Faust and Otis were working on one of the control panels, Ishmael walked up to another and interfaced with it before giving a knowing nod. This must have been an investigative or research vessel of sorts, but it doesn't seem a bit extravagant for one of those, though. Look, coordinates updating in real time, it seems. The coordinates seem to have been set to somewhere out in the middle of the ocean. Maybe it points to a small islet. Nope, no islet here. Oh. Ah! Blimey, lass. You sure know how to sneak up on people. Mayors! What, did I actually surprise you? I did ask you guys if you were gonna come fix the boat today. Still, I didn't know you'd be up here. Why are the coordinates set to this location? There are several undersea cities beneath those coordinates, collectively known as Aegir, Grandpa's home. I see, understood. What did you pay T-Corp? What? What was understood, if I may ask? It is now understood why the promise to repair the ship was sufficient to earn their trust in the title of saviors. What's she on about? Someone get translated. Consolidating and cross-referencing the observed particular circumstances of the village and the statement from the village chief alongside information gathered from the exchange with mayors, it is possible to gauge the significance of this ship's repair has to the local populace. After watching an old event. Oh, yeah, forgot. I'm just watching a YouTube video. I'm not playing, I'm watching. Yeah. Of course, while this may constitute a sequence of logical connections that poses a certain challenge to Heathcliff to comprehend, to employ any degree of effort to attempt to explain it, his more digestible language would constitute a pursuit of inefficiency. T-Corp. Lower the baton, I implore you. I shall explain it in full. Oh, I was wondering when Miss Smart Arse would start gabbing like that again, so what's she on about? Heathcliff's shoulders were relaxed. It didn't seem like he was actually going to swing the bat. He placed it lightly over his shoulder with a sigh. I believe Modsy could technically play the event, oh? A brief observation of the village seems to suggest that their subsistence situation was quite dire, Much of their daily sustenance consisted of dried food, most of them made for long-term storage purposes. Meantime, text hell after this, God. Considering what Scotty said about how the coastal areas are full of danger, maybe those dried seafood aren't from around here either. Maybe it's food they packed when they first came to Faro Muerto. Some villagers were armed, yeah, and those sea terrors weren't exactly that formidable, but... given the state the villagers are in, I doubt they'd have an easy time repelling those monsters. Indeed, and that brings us to the question of sustenance. Right, I get what's going on here. The lass and her granddad are about to visit their hometown, and they're trying to get some food supplies from there to feed the villagers, and to convince them they're planning to use the fact that they're from the same neck of the woods, or sea, I guess. Oh, so we're not just repairing the ship, we're repairing their food supply plan, too. Huh, what's wrong? It's the... While the expressions were rather crude, Heathcliff's summary of the situation was clear, to the point, and easily understood. The sinners stared at him with mild surprise. I did too. Dang. What's with them annoying looks? Wait, oh, you saw it? You don't think I'm that dim-witted, do you? Top-notch intuition. It's just that it's been a while since you've shown this side of yourself. Thinking back, Heathcliff's intuition's always been excellent, and he'd often put together surprisingly accurate conclusions with impressive speed. You know, when you really think about it, it's kind of your fault for... I've been too soft on you lately, haven't I? Get back here. Now with the fools out of the conversation, was he correct? Otis looks away from the usual chaos to asks Mayers. Honestly, I'm surprised. He was on point. Yeah, food's been running low in the village. At this rate, we won't last another year. But the Aegir will, I'm sure they'll welcome us with open arms. I don't want to come off like I'm overly worried, but do you think they'll welcome the others too? Unlike mayors or chief, they're not Aegir. I believe they will. Oh, I gotta drink water, chat. Oh my god. How far are Nori? Oh my god, we've still got a while to go, jeez. Iberia suspects and hates the Aegir for no reason other than we're from the sea, but... our home cannot have fallen so low as to abandon a group of starving land dwellers. Prithee, might thou explain to us who the Aegir are? I'd initially thought it to be a reference to a region, yet it also seems to refer to an affiliation of sorts. Maybe there's something like nest dwellers, though I don't think I've heard of a nest that accepts Backstreet's people with open arms. Project Moon doesn't really like when you mod Limbus, oh? Why not? Sorry, cleared phone notifications. Or maybe they used to be some rich folk. They call them nests, toffs, Aegir here, then does that make the rabbit-eared lass Aegir too? That's the main source of income now? Ah. Hold on, wait. Hold on, I think I skipped something. Oh, ... That's what I skipped. Wait, in the world you came from, do they not distinguish between races? That is not entirely true. Delineation between races is a concept that does exist. Though I only saw them in the Fathoms, there were those terrifying things called cuckoo spawns. Oh god. However, as a general rule, it can be said that humans should be the only intelligent life forms in the city. The people of Terra have slightly varying appearances depending on their race, like my cactus. ears. Cactus ears? Cautus ears. I was like, cactus ears? What? Should be 100% social credit from the head. The city doesn't have racism, just extreme classism. Yeah, the city eliminated racism by eliminating every other race. God. And I've got pointed ears because I'm an Aegir, though it's not the characteristics every Aegir shares. The closest idea to what they're discussing appears to be, Don Quixote seems to be struggling to finish her sentence. Mersault stepped in to continue. By context clues and the manner of word usage, including the means of classification, the closest example in our world would be blood fiends, similar external appearances to humans, different natures, comparable sapiens. It is of my belief that blood fiends are ostracized due to their nature that maketh coexistence with humans difficult. It may be that Aegir are also... I'm sure some of them do possess qualities that make coexistence with others difficult, but they're probably rare. And wherefore are they made subjects of suspicion and hatred? That's... Well, the language is new, but the idea itself is pretty familiar to the city folk like us. Think of feathers of fallen wings, kids born in backstreets, people who replace their body with parts with prosthetics. The form differs, yet in its essence we find the thread. Dang, racism. Something about how we keep finding these similarities in our ways of lives, despite finding ourselves in a distant world with different rules, races, and humans. Felt oddly discomforting. And the point is, you guys are doing us real solid by fixing up the ship. Let's move on from these gloomy conversations, okay? I want to show you the cooler parts of the ship. This way. The ship tour may have to wait. Oh? The repairs are almost completed, but an issue has arisen. Issue? Wow, that's not really reassuring at all. Oh? Multiple life forms identified ahead, assumed to be a sea terror horde. Ah. The ship's radar system seems to suggest that the vessel is surrounded. Oh. Do they show fights in this video? They do not. I think there was another video that somebody linked that had all the fights, but it was 2 extra hours. So I am probably just going to check out the boss fights when they happen. Because I do not want to sit here for, like, I don't really want to watch the combat encounters if I'm not actually playing them, because it's just going to be people selecting moves and fighting, and that's it. You know? They're the same monsters from yesterday. Executive Manager, please order us to prepare for battle. Damn it, are they the sea terrors you encountered? They look a bit different, but yeah, probably. There's a lot of them, but if our last experience tells us anything, we should be able to handle this. Amiya, please support us in battle like you did yesterday. Oh, is Amiya a character that, like, a support character in this? That's neat. Or if so, it's neat. Can style fight, young mayors. I feel like I'm just gonna get in your way. Definitely the boss fights are cool, so I would definitely watch them, yeah. Then, guys, find a place to keep mayors as far as possible from the battle. Then let's hurry down here, and we don't want them damaging the ship any further. What do you mean, like your class? What? I just meant, is Amiya like a support character in the fights? Like how Shichun was a support. The remaining entities have all returned to sea. Is everyone okay? It was just like our last skirmish. They're an announcer. Ah. Sea terrors that had surrounded the ship returned to the sea even before the battle came to an end. And their retreat felt too orderly and deliberate to just be running away. It's almost like they're making a tactical retreat. Oh? We're doing peachy, but what about the ship? Wow, is the ship okay? Minor damages to the hull, but nothing that will impede the ship's operational capabilities. Phew. Though I noticed during the battle, I might be wrong, of course, but I think I noticed how around the end of the battle, those monsters were starting to go after the manager. Oh? You're probably right, actually. Are they, like, intelligent, I guess? I noticed, too, at some point during our battle, those monsters realized that it's the manager who's commanding the rest of us. Also, I'm assuming, what are the characters from this from the original Arknights or Enfield? I'm assuming the characters that we meet are Arknights characters, right? Original Arknights? Oh man, that means I have to play that on stream. Enfield has completely different characters. Ah. Okay, I'll find a way to play it, I guess. Like I said, Enfield is hundreds of years after Arknights. Ah. I'm drinking water. Enfield wasn't out from my memory. Oh. Oh, so Enfield is like new. Okay. I guess you could compare it to Ruin and Limbus. Ah. Okay. Yeah, I guess Enfield is the Limbus company of Arknights, and then Arknights is, yeah. Right. I sensed the very same. Their movements were fluid and adaptive, as though they were learning our behavior. Why does the Church of the Deep worship monsters like them? Original Arknights. Mayor's is KJH's Arknights OC. Ah. That ain't much of a question. They all must have gone mental. I'm sure they have many reasons, but Seaborns are beings of infinite potential. So much that there's no superlative big enough to properly convey the scale. As organisms, they can endlessly evolve and adapt. Every time they encounter a new environment or a new element, they transform themselves into other Seaborns. Maybe that's their draw. That fascination may be an attitude most befitting a researcher, yet the transformation of fascination into idolatry is, if I may be frank, not entirely positive. I find them pretty uncomfortable. They just remind me of whales. Then can they adapt to learn a language to communicate with us? What? Going by everything we heard, I think they sound really smart. Mayor's eyes went round at Honglu's suggestion. She brought her hands to her mouth, surprised. It sure was something. I heard that there was a Seaborn who could talk. Oh? If non-humans speak the language of humans, regardless of its testament to their intelligence, I can only think of two possibilities as to why they would. One to communicate with the humans, the other to deceive the humans. More often than not, it's the latter. What about distortions? Some of them already know how to speak. Distortions are phenomena in which humans transform into monstrous forms, first observed after after the White Knights and Dark Days incident. Therefore, that example is irrelevant to Otis's supposition. White Knights and Dark Days. She whispered quietly, but as we were standing rather close to her, we all caught a hint of the joy in her voice. Oh? Pillar of light in the city. Did it really... how have you come across this knowledge, Miss Mayers? Oh, that's... Huh? Ain't it obvious? We've got the culprit right here. The storyteller lassie's been gabbing on with no end. Hold on a second. There's Mayers from the city. Is that what that's hinting at? Okay. But I was gonna say... she's related to the other villagers, but we haven't actually seen them together at all in any way. She was just there. She could have totally made up that story. Okay. Yeah, she's been talking nonstop all morning about all kinds of stories, hasn't she? Oh, yet I have not gotten that far. Oh. You again, you didn't get so lost in your own stories that you blabbed about all our company's secrets, have you? Have you ever seen a person in the city with pointed ears? True. Outskirts. Ah, maybe? Or maybe she's the reason. But that would be a distortion that did that, or an abnormality that did that, right? Hmm. Hmm. Maybe I would simply not. As Don Quixote was subjected to yet another round of scolding, Amia stared out toward the sea, wary that sea terrors might start crawling to the surface once again before turning towards us. I wonder which of the two the Seaborns are. Their sense of self is really, really faint, so I don't think they'd be in either category. I think it's possible that they learned human language out of instinct, that the power of speech might help them survive. It appears that you, Miss Mayers, are quite the expert on the subject of Seaborns. Your knowledge of them goes beyond what fear for one's survival may yield, thereby suggesting a different means of acquisition. Do you by chance worship the Seaborns? I don't worship Seaborns. Seaborns don't have any hopes or wishes, just desire for survival. Miss Mayers, does that mean if Seaborns were somehow able to hope? Maybe so. Is that so? What? The repairs are complete. Okay, wow, that was fast. As we were conversing, Faust descended from the ship with a neatly organized set of tools borrowed from the village. Repairs completed. I'm guessing the repairs are done. Done? Yes, the ship is ready to set sail. All right. Did you have a departure time and date in mind? I would prefer if we could depart as soon as possible. We don't have a set time or anything, but I think we should be able to set sail this late afternoon at the earliest. That soon? As you've seen, we don't have a lot to bring with us. By the way, how far out to sea do you guys need to go? We need to find this dimensional door of sorts. I can see the dimensional door's light from the beach at night. It was faint, but given how the light's strong enough to break through the sea fog, we should be able to determine its location somewhere around the coastal waters. So we can go back tonight. The first order of business is to relay this news to the villagers. Yeah, back to the village for now. Okay, hold up. That's... Yeah. So how many nodes are there? 19 nodes? Okay, geez. All right, well, I'm going to run to the bathroom before we move on to the next part. I will be right back. One moment, chat. Hi, Chad. I'm back. How's it going? What's up? Let's continue. There's something going on in the village. Yeah, I heard it too. I'm hearing people shouting and hollering. Oh. When we returned to the village, ship repairs completed, we were welcomed by a rather hostile standoff. A quick count told me there were approximately 20 people assembled at the village square. Considering its population, that was pretty much the whole village. Who's that over there? Inquisitor. Oh. I think we've been found. The Inquisitor, dressed in a well-kept uniform, was about the same height as Don Quixote. The sword and the lamp hanging from her waist sits in stark contrast to the more run-down, ramshackle village. Irino. She almost looked like a fixer from the city. So the Inquisition has discovered our village. Did you really think you could forever stay out of the Inquisition's gaze, citizen? That's a naive dream. Fabius disappeared from the Inquisition mid-interrogation under charges of suspicion of membership within the Church of the Deep. Last known location, Salt Flat. The other Inquisitors have informed me that you have been identified next to pirates in its fringes. From a criminal to an outlaw, what a dramatic evolution of your career. But it ends here, now. Every citizen here, including you, will be accompanying me to the Inquisition. They have never broken a single law, nor are they outlaws of any kind. They are not like me. They've disregarded the Inquisition's authority, evaded the gaze of Iberia, and found its sodden coast to lurk in. Tell me I'm not supposed to find that suspicious. What are you talking about? You can't just start arresting people left and right with a teeniest suspicion like that. You shouldn't. We only wish to live a quiet life, ma'am. Is that so? Then you might find yourself returning to this village one day, as long as you're telling the truth. Which is not an option for you, thought Fabius. Mayors, was Chief really a pirate? Well, yeah, but as far as I know, he's been out of the game for a while. And even when he ran with the pirates, all he ever did was share Finbeast jerky to villages. Carry Aegirians with them, between them. Even if you're telling the truth, Mayors, I doubt the Inquisition will be lenient. Well, what now? I have but one question to ask. That Inquisitor, is she following the proper legal procedures? I don't know much about the laws of Iberia, but Dr. Kalstedt told us that the words of Inquisitors were pretty much law here. It is likely that she is following the proper legal procedures. The procedures are precisely what the villagers have fled from, after all. Then it is decided. Otis quietly dragged me to the side and whispered outside Mayor's earshot. The sinners who were right next to me seemed to have picked it up, though. Executive Manager, we best immediately return to the ship, take command of it, and sail out on our own. It is unwise to involve ourselves in this conflict. Okay. God, it's so hard to like Otis sometimes. My God. I get that, like, oh, I don't know. Otis kind of sucks a lot sometimes. Because, like, not only did she say that we should leave this, like, obviously, we're not obligated to help them, but not only did she say that we shouldn't help them, but we should also rob them, too. Like, take their entire ship. Like, what do you mean? That's crazy. Like, these poor villagers are out here being, like, arrested by, like, a corrupt government for no reason. And we're like, we should rob them. We should rob them of the only thing they might have left when they come back. Like, that's crazy. What, are you seriously suggesting we just let them arrest the villagers? Didn't you hear what the Inquisitor said? It seems quite cut and dry to me. If this is just standard procedure with no local laws broken, we're in no place to involve ourselves. Our best hope is to take the ship before they impound that, too. We can't do that, even if it is standard procedure. Even if they're working within the law, it's not. You stayed up to hear Mayor's story, too, didn't you? We need Luffy. You know, the N-Corp Inquisitors were working within the law, too, when they came to our village. That was standard procedure, too. Dang. If anyone had stepped in then, I know what you went through, but I'd still rather not take a risk in an unfamiliar environment like this. I will try my best to figure out how to sail that ship. If I cannot, then I have faith that Ishmael to quickly learn its controls. Many theorize that Otis will attempt to betray. Maybe. That's realistic, but from our perspective, their village is like if you threw one into the middle of the outskirts. I'm trying to think. Maybe Otis will attempt to betray, but like also like I don't know. Otis is kind of unpredictable. Like she really like cares about like the strict order of like the setup that she's currently in. Like she pretty much worships Dante because like Dante is like in charge. But at the same time, she also is just like I don't know. She's very hypocritical sometimes where she'll like really care about the like power structures and stuff and then like completely like ignore power structures occasionally. And they were able to survive in the outskirts with very few problems. Yeah. Well, I mean, there are, you know, Otis in the description discusses possible treachery. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, I should I want to go back to the original introductions for the Sinners, I think. Cuz I saw a single like screenshot of Dawn's character introduction and she had La Mancha Land in the background. Just like there. And I think I remember when I first started Limbus Company, I saw that and I was like, "Oh, there's like a carnival in the background. That's funny." Little did I know. My god. There's a Trojan horse in Otis's background. Oh, yeah. Does that means that prop might have already happened, right? So is this I'm guessing this is post Odyssey then? Post Odyssey Otis? Yeah, because what you call it? I wasn't sure if Otis was gonna be like she's going through the Odyssey right now and this is just a brief part in it, or if she had already done the Odyssey and now she's just like here, I guess. Life's an Odyssey, isn't it, chat? That's crazy. You're never out of the Odyssey. You're just in it all the time. That's life. Okay, let's actually continue. Can't say you're wrong, but I don't know. Neither you nor I know anything about the ocean currents here, Otis. Otis is based off of Odysseus who willingly followed the path that got his entire crew killed. Ah. We can get the ship going, but I can't guarantee that we'll reach the dimensional door without any trouble. You do not know anything about the sea currents in this region? Or do you know anything? Oh. Not much, but I know the coastal sea somewhat. And you can't fight the Inquisitors directly here in Iberia. Fleeing with the ship might be the better option. What should we do, Dante? Yeah, I guess it's kinda awkward for us to just take the ship and go, huh? How about we try and talk to the Inquisitor then? That is another option. I think we should at least try to hear them out first. Them being an Inquisitor and the Chief both. If the discussion goes well, we might be able to get the Inquisition's support. Like Mr. Honglu said, we should hear them out first, and then try to convince them. I agreed with them both. First, let's at least see what the Inquisitor has to say. RR. Rabbit's right, she says? Oh. Are you certain that translation was accurate, Sinclair? Right? There's no way Ryoshi would choose anything other than violence, right? Idiots, it's because the other options are pointless. Inquisitor's seen us. We're already under suspicion. He will doubtlessly try to stop us if we flee now. Yeah. So talk first, lower her guard, then attack. Pretty sure that's not what Amiya meant. Well, if she's already onto us, then we shouldn't give her any excuse to attack us by running away. I was wondering what you were doing here, lurking in the background. A clock-shaped head. Are you from the Colombian Union? They're wearing a clock for a head due to reasons, but they have nothing to do with the Colombian Union. What's the Colombian Union? TikTok, what? Which language are they speaking? Regardless of whether you're from Colombia or not, you're clearly not from Iberia, let alone this village. You're not wrong, but I think there's been a bit of a misunderstanding. I'm quite certain you don't know enough about these villagers to stand between them and the Inquisitor. How long have you been staying here? 2 days? Hey, don't just tell her that. 2 days, alright, enough of this. What is that word? Chicanery? Oh. Get out of my way, outsider. The attempt appears to have been made quite the unstable ground. Lend us your ears for a minute, Inquisitor. Or please lend us your ears for a minute. I'm Amiya, leader of Rhodes Island. Yes, I'm aware of Iberia's closed border situation. I felt hope swelling within me as Amiya began with confidence, unlike Sinclair. Alas, it was short-lived. Thanks to the Inquisitor's quick retort, I couldn't help but place my palm against my forehead at the exchange that followed. Oh, so not only are we dealing with outsiders of dubious origin, but we have illegal entry as well. We had to, because the issue demands urgency and... Oh my god, why did you say that? I've been briefed. Brazenly crossed the border, didn't you? I don't know how urgent that issue could be, but I doubt it's anything more significant than the situation at hand for Iberia and its Inquisition. High Inquisitors handling the Rhodes Island issue. Stay put and wait the consequences while he and that chatty med doctor of yours talk it out. Do you know your treatment may depend on her negotiation skills? As for this village chief, I understand that you have the right to arrest him, as he is a fugitive who has fled in the middle of an interrogation and has been sailing with the pirates. However, it is an inhumane treatment to arrest the rest of the villagers as well. Inhumane? This decision is well within the rights bestowed upon the Inquisition. They've lived for years right next to that highly suspicious A-gear. The Inquisition must investigate the rest of them as well to verify whether they have committed any acts of treason against our laws. This isn't going anywhere, is it? Listen, they've been surviving for years upon years by the coast without the protection of the Inquisition, and that simply cannot make sense. Oh, I think I've heard enough from you. Oh god. Ain't it funny how you're blaming them for what is essentially a failure of your responsibilities? And now you roll up in here only to go, they shouldn't be alive. I'm arresting them all. What are you saying? These people should all be dead or something? I am. There's no other way to cut it. People simply shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this. Not for this long. The Inquisitor's reply only seemed to fan Heathcliff's wrath as he lifted his bat and began striding forward. That's it. Oh god. Lass, if you ever so much as touch the tip of a single villager's hair. Please calm yourself, Heathcliff. But Honglu stepped in between them. Your bloody hands off me. I've had enough of her. Dang. Continuing to threaten her will cause something irrevocably bad to happen. I believe you know that yourself, Heathcliff. What do you suggest then? We're clearly not making any progress by trying to talk this out. Excuse me, Miss Inquisitor. What do you mean that people shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this? Oh yeah, Honglu has a pretty good history of being able to communicate with people like this. All right. I mean it literally. Even by some miracle that they actually do survive, they should at least be suffering from endless hunger, struggling to their wits' end at the inevitability of the calamity. But they look too healthy. The heck, then shouldn't you be applauding them for managing to survive through so much hardship? I'm an Inquisitor. I'm not some crazy person on a power high who goes around accosting and arresting civilians of Iberia straight to the gallows, okay? I have more than enough probable cause to take them in for interrogation. It's just that I don't have the time or the energy to explain every single one of them to you outsiders. I promise them a fair judgment, whichever way that may be, after a proper investigation. Stop it with this obstruction of justice. Dang. The Inquisitor brandished her rapier threateningly, her voice shaking with frustration. Dante. Without the full picture of the circumstances, Faust advises against further antagonization of local political authority. I agree with Faust. I get the feeling that she isn't the kind of heartless Inquisitor that goes around indiscriminately executing innocents, like Miss Mayers told us about earlier. I don't think she's anything like the Inquisitors of Encorp we saw back at the call. They were right. We didn't have the full picture of the circumstances. Getting in the way of an Inquisitor who was clearly a rather significant political entity in the area was most likely a bad idea. It isn't the Inquisitor's job to answer your questions. I mean, yeah, to be fair, if they were super corrupt, we would be in combat already. Continue to obstruct me, then. As the standoff was showing no signs of ending. In fact, if anyone, like, I feel like if Heathcliff, like, just the fact that Heathcliff, like, kind of a little bit threatened her, that would be cause enough to arrest somebody just in general. Like, threatening, like, somebody, threatening an Inquisitor would probably be a bad idea. So they might actually be pretty, like, cool. Mrs. Mayers, I can answer your question, so for now, let's do as the Inquisitor says. Mayers, who had been hiding behind us ever since we returned to the village, suddenly stepped forward. Yet what of thy grandfather and the villagers? It's alright, I'm sure this is happening only because the Inquisitor doesn't know. What do you mean you'll answer the questions? About the profound silence. Oh yeah, that's, yeah. Mayer's response to Otis was but a single concept. I didn't quite grasp its significance, but it seemed to surprise the Inquisitor. Jared had reason to arrest them. Amia was in the country league. That too! Yeah. Fun fact though, that's a misdemeanor. No, okay, that's all I'll say. Wait, that's what they call the calamity that destroyed Iberia. Yeah, you guys mentioned this earlier. Decades ago, a great wave ravaged through Iberia. It wasn't long before the seaborns carried by the waves diminished Iberia's brilliant civilization to this. The waves, the profound silence must have reduced the village to its current state as well. Is there any reason it's called the profound silence? It doesn't seem to be the most appropriate moniker for a calamity like that. It's because the sea went dead silent before the waves came. I had to drink water. The silence then claimed ships out at sea, then the cities of Iberia, then the Iberians. Silence, Runa, Roland, oh my god. No one could say a word in the face of the ineffable calamity. What are you? No average Iberian citizen should be privy to any of this information you're sharing. And the Church of the Deep is really capitalizing on the pandemonium that followed the profound silence. They pretend to be Aegir from the sea, delude the citizenry of Iberia, and are sowing chaos in her lands. So that's why they're arresting the Aegir left and right. I can see the thought process, but So it's understandable why the Inquisitors would want to arrest us. Dante. This isn't good. Sharing that seems to have been some kind of a taboo-like thing for the Inquisition. The Inquisitor wordlessly stared at Mayers. Her eyes were filled with traces of anger and confusion, but she's afraid. Oh. There was fear in the face of a threat. Not the fear of the terrified. No, it's the fear of someone who's suddenly confronted with something they must destroy. Oh. The High Inquisitor once told me that should I come across an Aegir who knows too much, there's a sliver of a chance that they may be of assistance to Iberia. Cease, thou art threatening the innocent with thy brandishing of a firearm. But most are seduced by the allure of the sea. Thus they are, with little doubt, our foes. Oh no. I've got a bad feeling about this. Is this one of the boss fights? Get out of my way, outsider. Final warning. Run! Oh god. Quick on the uptake as always, Raja slung Mayers over her shoulder and ran past the villagers. While the sinners scattered in all directions to distract the Inquisitor draws her firearm. And in the midst of all that action, Don Quixote rushed toward the Inquisitor without a moment's hesitation. Don Quixote! Thou shalt go no further. A fixer of justice shan't abide by as thou prosecute them. Forsooth, 'tis a battle delayed, not avoided. This clash is inevitable. In that moment of crisis, seconds before this could irrevocably make us a new enemy. Monster? A large obsidian crystallization in the shape of a monster bursts forth between the two of them. Who is it this time? Oh! That's enough meaningless bickering. Dr. Calstit. Or Calcit, yes. Do you know her? Yes, she's Dr. Calcit, Rhodes Island Medical Department's... Oh, Dr. Calcit, behind you. Grr. Shoot first, talk later, is it? The negotiations are over. From this moment onward, Rhodes Island is now operating within legal capacity on Iberian territory under the Inquisition's authorization. The Inquisitor fired a blast of that firearm-looking weapon, but the monster summoned by Kautsit managed to deflect it. And the cannonball thrown from the weapon punched clean through a wall of the building we stayed the night in, before punching through several other buildings behind it. My god. That was enough to instantly freeze the sinners and the villagers on the spot. That's penetrated a building. Though their walls may be weaker than the head's standard for what counts as a building's exterior wall, to punch through so many... Oh yeah, the whole taboo on destroying homes and stuff. I guess they're not used to that. What a precise point it makes. Now's not the time to stand around impressed. It is a violation of a taboo to have that much penetrative power in a firearm. We're not in the city. Don't lose your heads over this. Taboos don't apply here. My head knows that to be true, yet my heart finds it difficult to be still. That is enough of that discussion for now. It is advisable that we carefully observe and grasp the situation at hand, instead of deliberating on a taboo of the jurisdiction of which does not reach this far. Suddenly an arbiter just comes through the dimensional door. Yeah, so the situation's gotten slightly better, right? She's Amiya's friend, she's our ally. Besides, she's got some super powerful looking prosthetic gear looking thing too. Is that what you think? I apologize for the disappointment, but I'm not on anyone's side. In other words, your particular denomination ally might not be entirely correct, oh? However, if I must define my allegiance, then let me inform you that the closest label would be that I am Inquisitor Irene's ally. Oh. Dr. Kautsit. Amiya, outsiders. As much as you would like to deny it, the Inquisitor's suspicions are true. While it can be said that the process by which she reached that conclusion was unfair, the conclusion itself, without a doubt, correct. So they're actually connected to the Church of the Deep? That is one way to put it. To be more precise, they aren't connected to the Church of the Deep. They are the Church of the Deep. Perhaps the village itself is a dilapidated church of their congregation. Of the culture shock with the sinners, yeah. Our village a church? Just look at our buildings. Where would we even congregate? Your thoughts, Faust? There are not many resources by which we may analyze the decision. However, the fact that Amiya's colleague has made the same argument as the Inquisitor brings the accused's defense into question. Yet I can hardly believe that young Myers is lying to us. Hold on, you've been chatting plenty with that Inquisition or whatever. How do we know you weren't aligned with them the whole time? See, you really are all entirely in the dark. An expected outcome, given that that all of you may be from a place far beyond the dimensional door. As fortune should have it, there's no need for you to know it anyway. Truth is truth, unchanging, without the acceptance from an errant group of outsiders. Besides, soon... I'm sorry, it seems that we've mired you in this trouble. I'll say no such thing. We shall not abide by such injustice is perpetrated before our eyes. The village has already been identified by the Inquisition, and the Inquisition has even brought an ally. It seems unlikely that words shall resolve this conflict. But we promise you, we will take responsibility for what is done. We have benefited far too much from your warmth and kindness not to do so. Village chief, with a benevolent look, pulls a dagger from his cloth. And I immediately knew what Kautsit was about to say. Oh. Take responsibility. You don't have to go that oh. Blimey. We are now departing for the sea, yet as we cannot bring ourselves to leave you here, I must ask you to join us for this journey. Become our bloodkin. What are you doing? Stop! The Unanticipated, or perhaps I was simply in denial of this rising dread. Ambush did not end there. Dang. Damn it, the Inquisitor was right? Oh no. Whatever will we do? The villagers suddenly began shanking the sinners with weapons they had concealed in their clothes. And it seemed that they were coming for me as well. Okay, that's actually bad. Ah! Amiya, on your left! Amiya materialized a black ribbon-like apparition, parrying away the dagger flying in my direction. But another villager rushed in, taking advantage of the opening. Oh? The charging villagers back made a visceral, crunchy noise. Oh. Someone flung them away! Did they have a license for all those knives? Didn't mean to be this late. Scotty, let me catch you up to speed. I know the situation. The fishy smell was what I went to investigate earlier. What about the sinners? Unlike Amiya and I, who managed to survive the initial ambush, the sinners weren't doing so well. At least we had a silver lining in that the Inquisitor and Kautzit's quick understanding of the situation and the subsequent retaliation led the villagers away from the sinners. No, I didn't notice any hostility or any aggression. What an odd thing to say. Why would we hold any animosity against you? Why would we intend to kill you? We're not trying to hurt you. We are simply trying to give you a form better suited for the sea. Until we were obstructed. I apologize for our unfamiliarity has caused you trouble, Inquisitor. I won't make a big stink about what happened. What's truly unforgivable is that the heretics tried to take advantage of the ignorance of the outsiders to flee the Inquisition. And even if you are outsiders, any lives lost on Iberian soil are my responsibility. It's my fault. I'm sorry it came to this. Wait, lives lost? We're still alive, you know. We can shake off stab wound like... This is most unfortunate, outsider. Oh, what? Your friends are either going to die or turn into seaborns. Oh. The daggers that stabbed them were laced with the flesh of sea terrors. Once that happens, most die, and the survivors become overwritten by their cells, becoming nothing more than another sea monster. Everyone, I don't mean this in any mean way. Kill yourselves. Everyone do that right now. So we can wait, can we rewind without them being dead? Just to heal wounds? Because it reverses it. They would have not been stabbed, basically. So that would save them. By my understanding of the logic, right? What? That's not a very big deal. Everyone was acting like this was it for the sinners, but... Hey, I should be able to deal with this by turning the clock. It's not that bad. Yeah. My only concern was that I didn't know what would happen if I tried to bring them back after they're fully transformed into seaborns. Golden Bow helped me deal with the whale's politification effects, but I had no idea if it would, how it would interact with the seaborn transformations. We should just kill them before they turn. I know this must be very hard for you, but what? Sorry to bother you with this, but can you kill my friends? And preferably in the least painful way you know. Oh, sorry, was the last part kinda too much to ask? Wait, don't give up already. If we bring them back to Rhodes Island, we should be able to do something to help them. How should I explain this? Guys, can you... Dante, I know what you mean, but I just can't right now. My strength has rapidly deteriorated since the ambush. kind of tingly too. So maybe they used some kind of paralytic cocktail. Dot, 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 dot. Just trust me this one time. I can assure you that I'm not just giving up on them. But, Amiya, can you understand the outsider's speech? Yes, it's just that they're making a pretty difficult request. They want me to kill all of their friends before they transform into Seaborns. Okay. And before we even knew it, Scotty had already decapitated the sinners, none of whom resisted. Amiya seemed to have been taken aback by how fast Scotty jumped into action. What are you doing? Scotty. Don't let this spook you, it's just how we roll. The clock turns. The decapitated heads creep toward the headless torsos, connecting with the threads of blood. The sensation of that is that of reversal. It feels as though the sinners and I are severed from the rest of the world, rewinding in isolation. Is this rewinding us, going back in time, or are we defying the concept itself? This pain is multifold worse than the sensation of the straightforward decapitation. The pain is in the heart. As the current of death reverses, I sense a deep, crushing isolation. Dot, 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 dot. They low-key horror farming. Their wounds are disappearing? Resurrection. Metapsychosis or time reversal. Puzzling. I have no knowledge with which to interpret this technology. The cost seems to be that the pain is transferred to the one who rewinds. That seems too small a price for such great power, though the discussion of whether this can be categorized as power should be explored later. Nothing making up for thanks for saving my bacon. I couldn't stop shaking. All of my limbs were trembling from the icy solitude. Still, I took a moment to collect myself and ordered the sinners. Whoa! That's the thing. That's my thumbnail. Whoa, they look cool and stuff. I don't know what they I don't know just what they were thinking, but we should be able to find out once we take them down. You dare deceive the executive manager and try to take their life. Prepare thyself, for thou shalt now pay the price of making a mockery of justice. Yeah, we can't just let this slide, you know? How unfortunate. I had high hopes that all of you would become fine bloodkins. Oh. Was that a fight? Literally hitting the leading posts. Yeah, that was a fight. Okay. Was that a boss fight? Okay, we can look at all the fights later, I guess, at the end. Wait, I think they're heading to... He's running himself into a dead end. Are they seeking refuge at sea? Wait, that's where the ship is. That's where they're headed. They're trying to board the vessel Masas. Wait, but we never told them that the ship was repaired, so how? I mean, obvious. The whole village is in on it. It ain't a surprise that they'd send someone to spy on us, or they know a way to get the ship floating even in its broken state. Vessel Masas. Vessel Rebellion de la Masas. The ship is moored in a port in that direction. Wait, it can't be. Irene, who was preoccupied with battling the rest of the followers of the Church of the Deep who were in hiding, quickly gave chase. But Fabius and the villagers were already aboard the repaired ship, slowly departing the harbor with the horde of sea terrors between us and them. Dang. How can a vessel of that size become operational this fast? The exterior, the name, it must have been constructed during the golden age of Iberia. But how are we supposed to chase that? What if we built a raft and rode after them? Hey, come on. He's full of sea terrors. It won't get you very far before it sinks. Do you see something, Amia? Do you keep looking in that direction? Oh. Vessel Nassas soon disappeared into the mist, and the village was left empty with nary a sign of people ever having been there, as though this getaway had all been premeditated. Dang. Leaving only Mayors. Well. Damn, we can't just can't we just take any ship to go after it? It's a research vessel. It can't possibly be very fast. This will be difficult. Even if it is a research vessel, I'm sure it was constructed during the golden age of Iberia. No average ship can keep up with it. Which is a problem, because I doubt we have any ship that can travel at the same speed. We only have a few small vessels left, which are all anchored too far from this location to be feasible options. Do we have any recourse? No, not unless we can identify the exact location of the vessel. Which is the real problem. We can find ourselves a ship to go after them, yes, but most eyes of the Iberia, the lighthouse, were lost during the profound silence. Wait, when you say that most, do you mean that there's some left? Just one, as far as I know, and the one in Gran Faro, but that lighthouse cannot be used at this moment. There's another. Oh? There's a lighthouse you can use. Also, so what's Mayor's deal? I feel like... Okay, I guess we'll find out. Really? Are you really going to give one of the villagers the benefit of the doubt? Yet young Scotty hath already confirmed her to be safe. All I confirmed is whether she's a Seaborn or not. I can't know if she's a cultist. It's true, yet... Once we saw that Mayors was left all on her own, we decided to have her accompany us at all times to keep her within Irene's eyeshot. We couldn't possibly blame her for what happened, given Scotty's confirmation that she doesn't have anything to do with these sea monsters. Besides, they'd all left her behind. But Irene still seemed to harbor a bit of suspicion. The problem with the Aegir is that she simply knows too much. Where could she possibly have gained access to all that information? See, she can't even answer that question. But let's think about it this way. What if we were to ask her what we don't know? The location of that lighthouse, for example. They're ticking rapidly. What did they say? Dante says that we should approach it differently and ask her what we don't know, like the location of the lighthouse. So I need to drink more water, my dad. How much longer do we have in this? Like 2 hours. Oh my god, almost 2 hours. That's awful. What the heck? Okay. That seems like a reasonable suggestion to me, or does the Inquisitor have an alternate solution to this conundrum? No, but... Fine, let's hear it. I won't interrogate you about how you have access to things that even us Inquisitors don't know, at least not right now. Paro Muerto, Dead Lighthouse. That's our village name. Somewhere a little ways off from the coastline, there's an intact Eye of Iberia on the sea, though it was almost destroyed when the profound silence swept through. Off the coastline? Is that not connected to the land? I think it used to be until it sank. We should be able to procure ourselves enough wooden material from the village to build a raft. Is it near enough for a raft to be a means of access? The weather's not great today, but it should do. It's not very far from the coast. Even you're going to trust the Aegir? I don't see why I shouldn't. I understand that Iberian mistrust of the Aegir is quite profound, yet such sentiment is hollow to the rest of us. Inquisitor Irene, what do you feel when you saw the Rhodes Island operator? You're talking about the Hadus? Nothing in particular, other than the slight annoyance when she accused me of being inhumane. You don't harbor any hostility nor disgust, not that you would have felt any sense of sympathy or empathy either. I thought... I have no history of feelings for or against the Aegir. Such must be the same for the outsiders. What's she on about? She's conveying that in matters of regards to mayors, our opinions are more objective than Irene's. Finding the vessel Fabius commandeered will be of benefit to all. Limbus Company will gain an opportunity to return to the city via the Dimensional Door, while Rhodes Island will have the chance to study it at closer proximity. And the Inquisition will gain possession of the vessel in which the technology from the Iberian Golden Age is contained. What, you're just going to hand that over to the Inquisition? Why should we covet what was once Iberia's? While there certainly are aspects of that vessel that draw interest, I already have a state-of-the-art masterpiece known as Mephistopheles. As long as that can be guaranteed, I see no reason to refuse. Irene eventually agreed to put her trust in mayors. We're in luck, Executive Manager. It is quite fortunate that our interests aligned exactly with that of the first strangers we encountered in a strange land. Lucky is right. Imagine if we were back in the city, it would have taken them like 3-4 free distortion hunts for us to come to this agreement. Sorry about having to saddle you with this, Mayors. Please lead us to the lighthouse. Okay, happily. So you said almost destroyed. How almost destroyed is it? I heard that the light faded from the lighthouse a long time ago, but the shape still stands. At least it was when I saw it a few months ago. If the lighthouse is in an inoperable state, we're going to need an expert technician to get it back in working order. The technology is based on is completely divorced from the popular application of Originium technology, so I doubt there's anyone out there who can work it anymore then. Needn't worry about that. Here, we have an engineer and a researcher who are geniuses even among those in the city, so we should be able to manage the most mechanical failures. Today is just revelation after revelation, huh? I can vouch for Limbus Company's skills. I can also work on simpler tasks. I've learned a thing or two about helping out Gramps, stuff about the lighthouse or various tech stuff. Well, then, should we all head back to the lighthouse, or head to the lighthouse together? No, I'll be leaving the group for a moment. Amiya will accompany you instead. What, after all that, you're just going to go off on your own? Yes, to join the Doctor. It is imperative for the successful execution of the mission. Of course, that hinges on Amiya and Scotty remaining behind here to assist the rest of you. Thus, I will leave it to the rest of you to take the Eye of Iberia, the lighthouse, back. Wait, what do you mean, take back the lighthouse? Is there someone or something out there that's taken over the lighthouse called the Eye of Iberia? Likely supposition. Amiya, what did the manager of Limbus Company say? They're asking if the lighthouse has been taken over by something. Not a bad intuition. Yes, there is a high likelihood that the structure has already been overrun by sea terrors. I don't know about overrun, but I've encountered them a few times when we approached it too closely. Normally, this is hard enough personnel to attempt a raid on the lighthouse, or hardly enough personnel to attempt a raid. Answer me this. Are there any limitations to their revival? There are no restrictions as long as Dante the manager survives. However, do note that battle efficiency depreciates with prolonged battle to mounting mental stress of the manager. No need to change plan then. Amia, use this communicator to alert me as soon as you are able to identify the coordinates of a vessel from the lighthouse. You know, I get that. What? Why did I like pause and unpause a lot? Okay. I get that like gameplay is like different from the what you call it? Like how like story wise, but like canonically, I feel like the sinners are a pretty unstoppable force just in general. Unless an enemy is strong enough to wipe all of them out at once, or wipe them out quick enough that like they can't react to it. Like if one person goes down, canonically Dante can literally just rewind the clock and then bring them back immediately. Like like if you don't have the power to wipe all of us out at once, we're kind of invincible, right? I mean, obviously, as Faust just said, like mental stress would take a toll. Canonically, if Dante dies, the LCB dies, yeah. All you have to do is target Dante. But like we do have a group that is trained around this one ability, so I feel like they're pretty good at like defending Dante, right? In fact, the victory and defeat screens were changed for this event. Oh, how's Dante so good at hiding? I'm assuming that canonically they just have strategies to like defend Dante. You know, that might be why we have only half of the sinners in combat at one time, because the rest of them might just be surrounding Dante to protect them, you know? Though I guess we are slowly gaining more sinners, so it wouldn't make sense for like half of our sinners to like slowly like for like us to slowly phase out Dante's defense. Then again, Ricardo didn't exactly need to one-shot the entire crew. He just kept killing them so rapidly it exhausted them. Yeah. Yeah, their exhaustion does actually still happen. So it's really like we're not unstoppable. It's just that we look unstoppable. So a lot of threats would probably like fail horribly. Like imagine you're like in a fight with somebody and you like beat one of them and like they just get back up. That's crazy. They had to defend Dante against the sweepers, yeah. That's probably the most absurd case of them defending Dante. Because they were literally like, I like didn't realize how bad the sweepers were, like because of my previous encounters with them being like separate from the group. They're bad, like when they're sweeping. They're like they're a tsunami that goes through the city every single night. Like mental exhaustion from prolonged combats can still set in, yeah. But yeah, just like I feel like the sinners are still like a lot stronger than we actually get to see in like the gameplay. If you've ever been to a concert before, you'd know you're not surviving the sweepers. Yeah, I do not go to concerts specifically for reason of being surrounded by people on all sides. It's awful. Oh yeah, sweepers are terrifying in the interval. Did a great job of showing that. Yeah. And again, people getting back up out of nowhere isn't out of place after Ruina. People just manifest ego mid fight sometimes. That's more of a rare occasion that only happens in super strong combat encounters, though, right? In the majority of combat, I feel like again, yeah, we're not invincible, so like stronger people would definitely be able to beat us. But like in most normal generic combat encounters, like there's no losing for us, really. Like in any group fight that is like not a boss fight that we've been in, I feel like we just win that like without even having to try. Like I feel like the gameplay doesn't do it justice. Like the sinners completely like clear every like non-boss encounter. More likely for someone to distort while you're fighting them, and that does happen. Yeah, true. Biggest problem with the idea that the sinners protect Dante is that every defeat is canon, so there's no reason for the enemies to ignore Dante. Every defeat is canon? What? I mean, if every defeat was I don't think that's true, is it? Because if every defeat was canon, then we would be able to just, like, rush them down and lower their health bar over time. Like, their health bar resets. The whole thing gets reset. For people that aren't trying to murder us easily every time. Yeah. Okay, I should get back to this because it's already going to take a long time, even if we don't pause, and I'm pausing too much. If luck would have it, we should be able to reduce the time it takes to complete the retrieval mission. Papadon specifically waited to attack Dante until every other sinner died. Oh yeah. Every defeat isn't canon, it's just that we use death by attrition tactics. Yeah. Yeah, I think defeat. That's more gameplay reasons than lore. True. I don't know. I always thought of defeat as, like, there are no sinners left to defend Dante, so you lose. Like, that's them taking the opportunity. But it's not canon because it's a video game defeat, you know? Like, a defeat is, like, when, like, the opportunity rises that Dante is vulnerable, so the enemy takes it and you lose, you know? So you don't want that to happen. Okay, as long as you're not taking everyone with you, if it's just her who's leaving, then go ahead. I think we should be fine too. Then let us commence this vessel Massas retrieval. Yeah, but Ricardo. Yeah, Ricardo is obviously a scripted loss. So that would be canon, but most, like, defeats I don't think are canon, right? Lunar New Year is tomorrow, yo. Oh, is that going to be an event? Righto, step one of the plan's the raft, right? Let's get on with that. It's done, let's go. Oh. What, why are you looking at us like that? Is there something bothering you? Must you ask? Just look at how proactive and quick she is to jump to action. Certainly lives up to the image of an employee working for a large corporation. Thanks, Otis, for that charitable view, I guess. Thanks to Scotty, who had already finished the first step of the plan, we were able to move on to step 2 immediately. After a while of carefully sailing on Scotty's raft along the coastal cliffs, a gargantuan shrouded lighthouse emerged from the thick mist. Eye of Iberia. Even in its dilapidated ruined state, torches that are once monumental and sensitive are apparent on the exterior, or touches that are at once monumental and sensitive are apparent on the exterior construction of the lighthouse. Some even called these lighthouses Guardians of Iberia. It retains the grandeur of the era as it was built during its golden age. You really know everything, don't you? It is as she said, but now these lighthouses are nothing but graveyards of countless inquisitors and soldiers on the what? I didn't read. Hold on. Canal Battalion. Yes. No one who's attempted to retrieve a lighthouse has ever survived the expedition. Can you please not say scary stuff like that, Miss Irene? We're literally about to walk into one. Get ready, yo. Don't you ever quit chirping. What are you, a foul beast? Stop yapping in my ear. Why is this one such a coward, unlike the rest of you outsiders? I'm not a coward, it's just voicing my... She did just say some pretty concerning stuff. How long do you think the repairs will take? Its exterior is rather heavily damaged, however, from what is visible from the outside, its interior is still quite intact. With Miss Faust's expertise, it should not take very long. Yisung suggested with a smile, but Faust maintained her silence for the entire journey to the lighthouse. Then said something pretty concerning in response. Of course, my wit remains unmarred even in such uncertainties. Currents are pretty wild. Someone's going to have to stay behind and keep an eye on the raft. We can't just leave it out here unattended, but I don't know if we can carry it either. I'll stay here and protect the ship. You sure you can handle this alone? I know you're strong, but maybe one or two more people should stay behind just in case. No, I don't need them. Sea terrors will swarm the islet if I go with you anyway. So this has nothing to do with you. So what she's trying to say is that she's worried about you not having enough people to take on the lighthouse when she can handle the area alone, which is why she's okay with staying behind alone. Huh, thanks for explaining. Some people just can't help but hop through an extra hoop, I guess. Well then, let's trust her. We'll be back, Scotty. Luckily, we didn't run into any sea terrors on the way to the lighthouse gates. The problem was that the gates were bound shut by strange blue tissues. Reminds me of that L-Corp wrench back at U-Corp, though that one was white. I don't think I can do anything to force it open myself, so... Scotty is easily color fixture level strength. They had to balance around the fact. Dang. Guys, can you pry this door open? Wait, move over. I'll pull from the right side. You grab the left end. We'll all pull together at 1, 2, 3. You know? 1, 2, 3. Huh? Huh? Something's off here. What are you doing? Door is firmly secured in place. This flesh tissue regenerates almost as soon as it's torn. Perhaps you'll need to tap into a wilder form of art to get this opened. We need Firefist Gregor. Well, what now? The strange flesh tissue growing around the gates is sea terror. It reacts to the lamp, but it's grown too much to be affected by it in any meaningful capacity. Donnie might be able to open this door with her incredible strength, but... Should I go fetch her? But I think she's already fighting off the sea terrors from sinking the raft. So we're all on our own. Oh, yeah, what about IDs? We cannot... Do we have access to IDs here? I'm assuming we do. And yeah, we already fought, so yeah, obviously we would, because combat. Maybe there's an Oh. Okay. Maybe there's an identity card or ego that I could use to get through this. So, which one? Huh? Just as I was pondering a familiar question, a faint black glow came into view, then devoured my sight. Oh. It's no intuition or inspiration. It's different from these sudden flashes of realization. And it's not that star, or the star that day, and that I think of from time to time. Not the horrible door I see every time I turn the clock, either. Formless and black space in which I'm not permitted to see, a faint noise, a whisper cuts through it. And through that opening I see light. What is going on? I reach out from the opening and see... Scotty, born from a very warm gaze. Scotty! Powerful imagery crashes onto me like the waves. Scotty, the staggering dancer wielding a blade. Scotty, who flaunts her flowing locks. What? And Scotty, the singer, humming in a low voice. Beyond the fringes of cognition, Scotty's existence has become engraved. The sinner who can wrestle and control this iconic oceanic tidal power is... Dante, are you alright? I'm good, and I don't think we'll need to send for Scotty. Oh, do we have a Scotty ID? Is that what it is? Oh, what? Hey, Ishmael, I've never used this ego before, but I need you to trust me and accept it. What, an ego? Limited ego. I nod quietly. Well, it's not like we ever get to have a practice run of these with these ego, whatever it is. Seems to me our manager's found a solution. Her confusion is short-lived. She lets out a carefree laughter before stepping forward, boldly twirling her mace once. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Get corroded? Yo! This is sick. The cracks on the lighthouse are growing. I think she destroyed the door instead of opening it. Sorry, didn't think it'd be this strong. Well, the door's open. What are we waiting for? No, I mean, what was that? What, the part where you... What, the part where I suddenly changed into a different outfit and equipped a different personality? Yes, that. That is... This is most fascinating. That an ego could be drawn here in lieu of the mirror of Mephistopheles. I think I connected to Amiya's subconscious mind. There was this strange, unfamiliar light, and I saw Amiya's emotions attached to her memories and experiences, so I just reached out to them. My subconscious mind? So... Sorry, chat, one moment. Sorry, chat. I'm gonna have to end here real quick. Remember the timestamp, 12:13. So sorry, chat.